The present world is one where technology advances at an unstoppable rate. Sometimes it seems like there are new inventions and technologies that will forever alter our futures every single day. But it is simple to lose sight of the incredible ways in which the world is developing under the constant barrage of announcements about brand new enormous technology advancements and interesting devices. Welcome to the channel, subscribe, and let's dive in. Artificial intelligence programs, for instance, are capable of creating visuals from nothing more than a written prompt and generating poems from scratch. New holograms, lab-grown food, 3D printed eyeballs, and brain-reading robots are all possible technologies. This only scratches the surface of what is available. Therefore, we have put together a selection of the most intriguing emerging technologies, which you can find below. Robotics. New technologies for the future can occasionally lead to remarkable advancements with the potential to change the future, but they can also be profoundly unsettling. The concept of robotics, which as the name implies entails transforming dead things into robots, can be explained in this way. Despite the fact that this seems like the setup for a terrifying horror movie, Rice University is researching this technology. Researchers modified a dead spider to have the ability to pick up other things, giving it the grip of a robot. They use a spider that has been air-injected to accomplish this. This is possible because spiders lengthen their limbs by forcing their own type of blood, called hemolymph, into the limbs. Although this idea is still in its infancy, it may one day lead to a day when deceased animals are utilized to advance research. It all seems very Frankenstein-like. Intelligent exoskeletons. Exoskeletons have long been depicted in science fiction and real-world media. Yet, as time has gone on, technology has rapidly advanced, which is astounding. Technology has most noticeably grown more accessible to young people in recent years. According to its description, the Atlas 2030 is the most sophisticated mobile medical exoskeleton made especially for kids. This technology, which does not yet have a commercial release, could benefit kids in the future by providing a juvenile lower body exoskeleton for medical purposes. This might make it easier for kids with severe neuromuscular conditions, cerebral palsy, or spina bifida to walk. Sand batteries. Not every technology advancing our future needs to be complex. Others are straightforward but incredibly powerful. Some Finnish experts have developed one of these technologies by figuring out how to transform sand into a massive battery. These engineers filled a 4x7-meter steel container with 100 tons of sand. After that, wind and sun energy were used to warm up all of the sand. A neighborhood energy provider can then disperse this heat to warm up surrounding buildings. In this manner, energy can be long-term stored. This entire process is made possible by a theory called resistive heating. Here, the friction of electrical currents heats the substance. The electricity traveling through them warms sand and any other non-superconductor, producing heat that can be converted into energy. Catapulting satellites into space. Who would have guessed that an improvised catapult would be the ideal means of launching satellites into space? Okay, so it is far more intelligent than a catapult, but the technology is comparable. A prototype technology called spin launch is used to launch satellites or other payloads into orbit. Instead of employing the conventional method of using chemical fuel found in conventional rockets, it achieves this by using kinetic energy. With this method, payloads could be spun at 8,000 km per hour and 10,000 G before being launched into space using a big launch tube. Payloads will still need to be launched into orbit using small rocket engines, but Spin Launch claims this technology will save fuel and infrastructure by an amazing 70%. The business and NASA have a contract, and system testing has begun. Xenotransplantation. It seems like a poor idea to put a pig's heart into a human, but this is one of the newest medical operations that is making quick progress. Surgery could be revolutionized by xenotransplantation, which involves implanting or injecting human organs, tissues, or cells derived from animals. The implantation of a pig's heart into a person is among the most frequent surgeries done so far. Already twice, this has gone off without a hitch. However, one of the patients lived for only a short while the other is still being monitored. Gene editing must be done prior to the surgery in order to implant the heart into the patient. It is necessary to add human genes and remove some genes from the heart, notably those related to immunological acceptance and genes that stop the heart's tissue from growing too quickly. These operations are currently dangerous, and their outcomes are uncertain. AI image generation. There is a new industry to add to the list as artificial intelligence continues to carry out tasks just as well as humans. The world of art. Software that can generate graphics using only spoken inputs was developed by researchers at the startup OpenAI. You'll get a ton of absolutely unique photographs that meet the description if you search for a dog wearing a cowboy hat singing in the rain. Even the art form you request will be returned in is yours to choose. The technology isn't perfect, though, and there are still problems, like when we gave it bad instructions for drawing cartoon characters. The team behind the so-called DALL-E technology is currently working on its second generation and intends to keep improving it. Future applications of this technology might include creating art exhibitions, providing quick, original illustrations for businesses, and, of course, revolutionizing the way memes are made available online. The AI picture generator Midjourney is another piece of technology that can produce stunning Gothic works of art from a brief written instruction. In many ways, we already inhabit the future. Brain-reading robots. Brain-reading technology is now widely used and is no longer only a plot device for science fiction. The Swiss Federal University of Technology Lausanne researchers have tested one of the most intriguing and useful applications we've seen thus far, EPFL. These researchers have developed a method enabling tetraplegic patients to engage with the outside world. Thanks to a machine learning algorithm, a robot arm, and a brain-computer interface. During tests, the robot arm would carry out easy tasks like navigating an obstacle. The system would then analyze brain signals using an EEG cap to detect whether the arm had performed a move that the brain had deemed improper, such as moving too close to the obstacle or moving too quickly. The algorithm can then be modified over time to reflect the preferences and impulses of each person's brain. Future developments may include brain-controlled wheelchairs or devices to help tetraplegic sufferers. 3D printed bones. One of the most intriguing applications of the technology is the construction of 3D printed bones. The 3D printing business promises everything from inexpensive house building to reasonably priced durable armor. Tricalcium phosphate, a substance with characteristics comparable to those of human bones, is used by the business Ossiform to fabricate patient-specific replacements of various bones using 3D printing. Surprisingly simple to use, these 3D printed bones. An MRI can be performed in a hospital and then given to Ossiform, who makes a 3D model of the required implant that is patient-specific. The design is approved by the surgeon, and after printing, it can be used during surgery. The utilization of tricalcium phosphate allows the body to remodel the implants into vascularized bone, which makes these 3D printed bones unique. In other words, they will make it possible for the bone it is replacing to fully regain its previous function. The implants have a porous construction with big pores and channels for cells to adhere to and reconstruct bone, in order to achieve the best possible integration. Lab-made dairy products. You may have heard of laboratory-grown Wagyu steaks and cultured meat, but what about other meals that contain animal products? Globally, an increasing number of biotech companies are looking into dairy products made in laboratories, such as milk, ice cream, cheese, and eggs. And several believe they have solved the problem. Not even close to being environmentally friendly is the dairy sector. There is an increasing need for a greener splash to put in our teacups and cereal bowls because it contributes 4% of the carbon emissions in the world, more than shipping and air travel altogether. Milk isn't truly all that tough to make in a lab compared to meat. Most researchers try to generate it by a fermentation process, trying to produce the milk proteins whey and casein, rather than growing it from stem cells. A few products from businesses like Perfect Day are already on the American market, and continued research is being done to replicate the flavor and nutritional value of conventional cow's milk. Thank you for watching. Follow for more.